Welcome to First Intuition, and we are very excited to have you joining our online live programme. My name is Anne, and I'm joined today by my colleague Phil, and we're just going to take you through some of the induction information that we think will be helpful for you as we progress through our online live courses. So, first thing is just to chat a little bit about what is actually going to be covered in this induction. So we're going to talk about the tutor roles, and we're going to split those between the support tutor and the delivery tutor. So that will become clear as we go along, their respective roles. We're going to look at the class timetable, when the classes run, how you'll join your live classes. We'll talk a little about the course materials and FI Learn. We'll look at some of the resources that the AAT offer to you, in addition to the FI Learn materials. We'll guide you through the process of booking live assessments, and then we'll also have a look at expectations. So what you can expect from us, and in turn, what we expect from you. So I'll hand you over to Phil, and he will chat to you a little bit about the support tutor role. Over to you.
Hi everyone. So my name's Phil. So I look after a group of tutors who support students throughout the live course. So this is our group of tutors who look after everyone. We all look after all three levels, level 2, 3 and 4. And we look after anyone that's doing the live course either in the morning or in the evening. So as a support tutor role, our role is just basically to have contact with you throughout your live course. So we're your primary point of contact. So if you've got any questions, if you need any clarification, if you're doing any mocks, it'll be your support tutor that feeds back to you on information like that. And you'll get a dedicated support tutor for the whole level. So throughout the live unit, you may see different tutors teaching different classes, but you will have a dedicated support tutor for the entire level, so you get that consistency. We're here to help with anything that you've got going on, and any questions you can get in touch with them. You'll get given your tutor's email, your tutor's phone number, and your tutor's working hours, so you know when you can contact them.
So in terms of the delivery tutor team, I actually head up the delivery tutor role, and this is our delivery tutor team. So as Phil said, you will have one support tutor who is going to take you through the support of the entire level. But with the delivery tutors, you'll get different tutors delivering different classes. And that's because we all love teaching, so we like to share it out. And also because we have subject specialists. And we want to make sure that you get people that are specialists in the topic delivering the course that you're booked onto. So the role of the delivery tutor is to deliver the technical content during the live sessions, and to make sure that in doing that we cover the syllabus sufficiently, that you are going to be going into your revision phase with all the knowledge that you need about the particular unit. We also deal with any questions that you might have in terms of the technical content during the live classes. And you'll find that we often refer you back to your support tutor if you have a question such as, how do I book an exam? So during our live sessions, we focus on the actual presentation of the material. There's a lot to cover, so we want to make sure we get through it all. So that's our focus, and Phil's team of support tutors will deal with questions outside of that. The delivery tutor will set the homework for the week, but the support tutor will also communicate that to you. So that's a little bit of a team effort. But the delivery tutor will decide what the homework's going to be based on the amount of material covered during the class. Do you want to take this one, Phil?
Yeah, so each level, level 2, level 3 and level 4, all are set days and set times for the live courses. Level 2 and level 3 are currently done on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and level 4 is currently done on a Monday and a Wednesday. And you can sit them in the morning. This is between 9:30 and 12 p.m. And you can sit them on the evening, and this is between 6:15 and 8:45. So each session is 2.5 hours long, whether you're sitting it in the daytime or the evening. And it doesn't matter what level you're doing either, it's always going to be a 2.5 hour session for the live course. So all the live courses that you join will always be done on Zoom, and before the course begins, you'll be given a link either via email, or you can get in touch with your tutor if you haven't had that sent, and that will be sent out to you. So you'll always get a link for the live course, and that link will be the same link for each class for that one unit. So you'll get a link. So if you're doing level 4 and you're doing financial statements, you'll get a link for that. But then when you go on to a different unit, so if you go into personal tax, it'll be a different link for the personal tax, but that personal tax link will be the same one throughout.
Yeah, and that as a delivery tutor, that's a really important point to
Yeah.
make, particularly that last one, because when people have come to the first session, sometimes we get calls to say, how do I join the second session? And the answer is using the same link as for the first one. So glad you mentioned that, thanks. So back to me then to chat a little bit about the course materials. When you book your course, the course materials will automatically be sent to the delivery address that you've chosen at the time. And you are going to need those course materials as you attend the actual live classes. So what are they and what do they consist of? Well, our course materials are split into sections. So we start off with what we call our learning phase. And within the learning phase, we have a set of course notes. And these course notes are going to cover pretty much the syllabus. They're going to go through a technical area. They're going to then have perhaps an illustration or an example for us to work through together in class. The tutor will have these course notes pulled up on the screen in much the same way that you're viewing this little presentation now. You'll be viewing the course notes on the screen in your lesson, and the tutor will annotate things if they're important, highlight things, bring things to your attention, and fill in the answers to examples. And as the tutor's doing that, you can be doing the same in your printed copy. So as we go through the chapter, as I said, we come across illustrations, and we come across lecture examples, which we'll do together. But at the end of the chapter, we then suggest to you that you need to complete some additional examples on what we've just learnt. So if our lesson is on a Monday, your tutor will say, at the end of the Monday lesson, perhaps for homework, you might like to have a look at the practice examples on chapters 1 and 2, because they're the 2 chapters that we've covered today. So those practice examples are going to be in the same style and at the same standard of the lecture examples that you've done in class. So when the lecturer takes you through an example, often it can all look great and you think, oh, this is easy. And then sometimes faced with an example to do on your own can be a little bit more scary. So we want to make sure that you have some practice of working through those examples, referring back, of course, to the course notes if you need, and then going back to your support tutor if you find things difficult. The answers to those practice examples are also in your materials, so you can check things as you go along. Now, after every few chapters, let's say every 3 as a bit of an average, there will be an assignment or a checkpoint to have a look at. That's going to be on FI Learn, which is our online learning platform, and it's going to be a series of multiple choice questions, at the end of which you will get an instant result. And not only will you get an instant result, but your support tutor will also be notified of your result. So they can have a look through your work and contact you and give a little bit of feedback on any questions where you didn't quite get it right. So those checkpoints are a very, very useful tool, I think, for both you and the team at FI, just to monitor your progress. So there's no pressure around these checkpoints. If you do make mistakes, that's not a problem. We learn from the mistakes, we see where extra revision is needed, then you can have another go at them when you're ready. So that's sort of the first stage of the studies, and that's a very structured part of our course. Once the course notes are completed, then the practice examples will be almost complete too, because you'll have been doing those as you go along, and the checkpoints will also be getting towards the end, because we also complete those periodically through the live classes. You then move on to the rehearsal and revision phase of your studies, where you're going to start looking at questions in the assessment style and standard. So we then move into the task bank, and our materials come in 2 wire-bound books. What we've discussed so far, the course notes and the practice examples, will be in the first wire-bound book, our learning phase, and then the second phase, the revision and rehearsal phase, will be in your second wire-bound book. and you won't generally need this one during the live classes. So the task bank is going to be examples in the style of the live assessment. So we'll look, for example, at task 1. And if you're new to AAT, you may not know, but AAT do give us guidance about what each task will cover. So task number 1 in drafting and interpreting financial statements will always be on the same syllabus areas. So when we put together some example task 1s, we know exactly what to include in there because we know what a task 1 will include on exam day. So we take you through a few examples of task 1. There's some solutions in there for you to check through. We don't expect you to send these into your tutor for marking. You've got the answers yourself, but if you do need some help from your support tutor in understanding the questions, there's things that you're consistently getting wrong, then reach out to them as much as necessary. After the task bank, you move on to mocks. We've got 2 mocks printed in your folder, and we've got a further 2 mocks on the FI Learn platform. And that's particularly useful to start to orientate us to the live assessment, of course, which will be sat on a computer. So 2 online mocks, and if you are doing a level that includes a human marked questions rather than an all computer marked exam, your tutor will actually mark those human marked sections for you on the online mocks. So you'll get some one-to-one targeted feedback on your written or computational work. And then on the AAT website, would also suggest that you will be practicing some mocks produced by AAT, and we include some detailed solutions for those within our materials on FI Learn.
And then you have the learning portal on your FI Learn account. On here, you will be able to access all your materials. So if you book level 4, you'll see all the level 4 units. If you book level 3 and so on, whichever course you've purchased, you'll be able to access whatever unit you're doing on the FI Learn learning portal. Within here as well, you'll get access to online versions of the materials. So we have the materials as PDFs, so you can view them online, which is quite handy if you've got a second screen and you're doing a live class. You can have the PDFs on one screen and watch the live class on another. We also have pre-recorded video lectures for every chapter. So what these are little mini videos of a tutor going through the course notes. So if you're going through the materials and you find a section that you're struggling with, you can go and find it on your FI Learn portal and go and watch a little video of a tutor going through that section. And when the tutor goes through it on these little videos, they're about 5-10 minutes long, so they're really small, easy to digest. They're titled, so you can go straight to the video. And the tutor that's teaching that might put a little bit extra in than what's in the course notes, so you might learn a little bit extra. And they go through it with highlights and things and highlight key areas, so they're really good to watch, and a lot of students do like them. You can also access your assignments. So all the assignments are within the FI Learn portal within each unit. You can see these, they are listed as checkpoints. So checkpoint 1 will be assignment 1, checkpoint 2 will be assignment 2, and so on. And you also have access to your mock assignments. On the FI Learn portal, it will say mocks 1, mock 2, mock 3, and mock 4. Now, mock 1 and mock 2 are the mocks within your materials. So they're not actually online, but mock 3 and mock 4 are your online mocks that you can submit. And when you submit these, your tutor will see them and be able to give you some feedback on how you've done. So because they're online, they go through to your tutor.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Phil. So you can see there's actually a wealth of information. There's lots of things available to you outside of the live class. All of this is on the FI Learning portal, but we also have the AAT Learning portal as well, and they give you additional information on there which can enhance your studies. So let's have a look at what the AAT provide. And as Phil said with previously, this is available sort of by level. So if you're booked onto level 2, then you'll have all the level 2 AAT learning resources. Or you booked onto level 3, it'll be the level 3 resources available to you. So you'd log on to your My AAT, and then they have some sections called e-learning. And their e-learning sections will be little videos, little presentations taking you through what they perceive to be some of the more tricky areas of each unit. So they pick out the bits that they think that students commonly struggle with or that students find difficult, put together little e-learnings on that as a supplement to what tuition providers are producing. So just sometimes, as we've already said, having it explained in a slightly different way can just help to reinforce your understanding. So the e-learning is always worth a look if there's a topic you're finding tricky. So the e-learning tends to be perhaps like a little PowerPoint presentation. We also have some videos on the learning portal for some particular topics. And then green light tests. These are almost like a little traffic light system. So these will be a series of questions at the end of which you will be graded as either a red, an orange, or a green light. And of course, we're looking for the green lights. If you're in the red zone, then that suggests you've got a little bit more revision to do. Go to the sort of the orange or the amber area. Okay, but not quite there. And then, of course, the green light suggests that you've scored well on those questions. They're sort of a bit, I always think these are a bit Marmite. People tend to love them or hate them. They can sometimes explore some of the more cursory sections of the syllabus. So in terms of students that I'm advising, I'll say, if you enjoy them and you find them helpful, go for it. But if you find that they just knock your confidence and you're not enjoying them, then don't worry. So take them or leave them. I always put them in that sort of category. Having said that, though, the next thing, the AAT practice assessments are absolutely vital. Also on the AAT Lifelong Learning Portal. So these are assessments written by AAT. And what happens when an examiner writes questions for a new syllabus is that they put together, let's say, 10 examples of a task 1. And then at random, 2 task 1s are pulled out and made into a practice assessment, and the other 8 examples of the task 1 would go into the bank of live questions, which the computer will generate from on assessment day. So we're looking at questions written by your examiner with the same language, the same style, and the same standard of your live assessment. So those assessments are there. At the end of the assessment, and you actually sit this using the AAT software that they're going to use on exam day. Sneak that bit in. It's the same software that will be used on your live assessment day. And then at the end of your practice assessment, you'll get a score and you'll be able to see the solutions and check your work. We also have, as I mentioned before, on the FI portal, we also have detailed solutions. So the AAT solutions will tell you what the answer is, but they might not tell you how they got to that answer. They might not show all the workings. So they will give you the final answer. We've got an additional document to show you the workings. And AAT are also looking to support you in terms of your overall well-being. So they now have a section on their website and their learning portal section dealing with well-being resources. We need to look after our mental and physical health as we progress through the qualification, making sure we don't get overwhelmed by everything. So please think about checking out those wellbeing resources as well. That's all from the AAT site.
And then we get to booking live exams. So you've done all your learning, you feel like you're ready for it, you want to book your exam. It's important to book a date. With the live course, you don't get as much flexibility because the idea is that you need to book your exam before your next unit starts. So it's very structured. So if you're not sure what date that will be, your support tutor will give you a recommended date for your class. And that's just a recommendation of when the best time to sit your exam is. If you can't make that for work commitments or personal commitments, you might have to sit it earlier or you might have to sit it later. So you can contact your support tutor and get in touch with them if you can't make the recommended week. When you do book your exam, it's important to work towards that. don't leave everything to the last minute and then do all your revision 3 days before your exam and think it'll be helpful, because it will not. There's a lot of time planning going into this, so book your exam in advance, make sure you do your revision, and make sure you're ready for your exam going in, so you're going into it feeling confident, rather than feeling like you're winging it. And we don't want that. Before your exam, it's important to make sure that all your work is done. This is quite tough, especially on the live program, because there's a lot going on, because obviously you've got a lot of questions in the materials, you've got all the practice questions, you've got the task banks, you've got the mock stages, you've got the AAT website with all the e-learning and the green light test, what Anna's just gone through. So there's a lot going on. And if you do all of that before your exam date, you will be very well prepared. If you don't do all of that before your exam date, then you may find that you'll be struggling. So it's important to plan your time accordingly. And if you're not sure, use your support tutor. Your support tutor is there to give you advice. So if you're not sure what the best time is, not sure if you're not sure you're ready for it or anything like that, just get in touch with your support tutor and have a chat with them. They're there to help you. You are not bothering your support tutor. I always get a lot of emails saying, sorry to bother you, but, and you're not bothering me at all. If you've got any questions, get in touch. Your support tutor is there to help. Before you book your exam, you must make, especially your first one, you must make sure you're registered with AAT. You have to be registered on AAT for the level that you're doing. So if you want to book a level 4 exam, you need to be registered for level 4. If you're not, you won't be able to book or sit your exam. When you do book your exam, it will also ask you where you're studying. Now, at First Intuition, there's a lot of different centres. But if you're doing this course with the live program, you want to let them know that you're studying with First Intuition distance learning. That enables your support tutor to access your AAT account. So if you've got any result, they'll be able to see it. If you pick a different centre, so if you book First Intuition Cambridge, we won't be able to see that. So it's important you put the right centre down, and that'll always be First Intuition distance learning. Now, when you're booking an exam, you can sit it at any centre, any AAT centre that you wish. Ideally, it'd be great if you could sit at a First Intuition centre, as you're a First Intuition student, but if not, you can sit at any AAT centre near you. Just be aware though that if you do sit and it's not a First Intuition centre, there may be an external student fee put on, so it might be slightly more, but you can ring around and get different prices for different centres, whatever suits you. And yeah, it's just all about communicating with your support tutor. When you book an exam, do send your support tutor an email to let them know when you're sitting. Your support tutor is there to help you out and plan things accordingly. If they don't know when you're sitting, they don't know when to chase up for work and things like that, make sure you're on track. So it's important to communicate with your support tutor, send them an email and get everything booked in quickly. And as I say, if you don't know, if you're not sure on anything, get in touch and have a word with your tutor.
Right. Excellent, Phil. Thank you. Yeah. Something that I realised that I perhaps should have included on this slide and didn't, so I'll just run through now before I go to the next one. I just thought of it as you said, Phil, when you register with AAT and then you register for level 4 because you're going to sit level 4. I just wanted to make sure everybody knows, once you register with AAT for level 4, that's a one-off fee. So it's not an annual subscription model, which it used to be in the past. It's now one fee for the entire level. So if you finish that level in 6 months, or you finish that level over the course of 3 years, you are paying AAT the same amount of money. So it's a fee for the level, irrespective of how a short or long time it takes you to complete that level. You'll then pay, as Phil said, additionally for each exam. And those fees to AAT for the registration with them as a professional body and for the exams are in addition to what you pay to First Intuition, because you're paying us for the tuition, you're paying AAT for the exams and for the professional membership. So yeah, just a bit of a add on to that one.
Yeah, and that also ties in if you're doing some of the earlier levels. So if you're doing a level 2 and you register for level 2, when you finish your level and you go on to level 3, you are then not covered by AAT. You need to register for level 3. You can't just, because you pay for level 2, and if you've done it in 6 months, don't think it's going to last you 12 months long. Level 2, the registration for level 2 only lasts you for the level 2 level, however long it takes you. So when you then go on to level 3, move up a level, you will then have to register for level 3 again.
Yeah, thanks for that clarification, Phil. So my next little part then is about booking live assessments, and in particular, AAT's policy on reasonable adjustments and special considerations. So depending on your circumstances and any medical diagnosis that you might have, AAT may offer certain things, like as tutors, we're not able to really do this, but the exam centres where you book your exam, they can help you with these. We can give you guidance, but ultimately the exam centre will make arrangements for you. So you can use your support tutor to get advice, and the exam centre where you plan to sit your exam, be it First Intuition or somewhere else, will be able to clarify precisely. But the sorts of things that AAT will offer can be extra time. So just giving you some examples from my previous experience with students, perhaps if you are dyslexic. If you're dyslexic and you have a formal diagnosis of dyslexia, you will probably be given extra time. The centre will allocate you that extra time. They'll let you know exactly what medical evidence you need. And then if you let your support tutor know as well, they can make sure that you're given extra time for those mocks that we mentioned that you will be sitting online. So extra time can be given in the mocks by First Intuition and in the live assessment by the exam centre. If you have English as your second language, you are allowed to request a bilingual dictionary, and the exam centre must provide this for you. But don't expect that you can ring them up 5 minutes before the assessment and say, I need a dictionary in Mandarin, for example, and that they might just have one on hand. So you can imagine there's lots of languages out there in the world. So we have to make sure that we, as exam centres, have the right dictionary for you. So please organise that directly with your chosen exam centre. But it is part of AAT's special considerations policy that nobody should be disadvantaged, which includes having English as your second language. So if you feel that you would benefit from the use of a bilingual dictionary, let the exam centre know, and they will be able to arrange it for you. Other things would be, for example, a scribe, which just means somebody that would actually sort of, I suppose, complete the exam on your behalf. So I suppose if you were, let's say, if you had issues with vision and you needed somebody to input the answers into the computer, you weren't able to see the screen, you weren't able to type your own answers in, and then a prompter also. So if you perhaps have, let's say, attention deficit disorder or some sort of attention deficit, then again, with a medical diagnosis, you could request a prompter, who is just somebody that will just try to get your attention back on track. You seem to be wondering. So all that's available. AAT have quite a large and extensive policy on their reasonable adjustments and special considerations. So please check in with your support tutor if you think any of that may apply to you and you'd like to read through that policy or get a little bit of information, more information about any of that. Now, we've talked about booking your first live assessment. Phil's told you at what point we ought to be doing that, and that the support tutor will guide you with dates. But another little admin point here, really. When you are at the point of wanting to book your first live assessment, you're going to have to go through a setup on the software that AAT used to deliver your exam called Atlas Cloud. So you're going to get an automated email from Atlas Cloud, which is going to come a few days before the date of your live assessment. The issue that we've had with this in the past is that this sometimes goes to your junk folder. So then you get to the exam centre and you haven't set anything up because you didn't see the email because it went to the spam. So if, let's say, 2 or 3 days in advance of your live assessment, you haven't seen this email, you might just want to check the junk folder, and then a couple of days before, nothing's arrived, check in with the exam centre to see that everything is still fine, because this is going to involve you setting up an Atlas Cloud account and setting up a password. And then on the day of your live assessment, you'll be required to input that password to get everything going. You only have to do that once. So this only applies if this is going to be your very, very first AAT exam. When it's done, it's done. So there's some good news in there at least.
So what to expect from FI? All the tutors here are friendly and approachable. We all want to help you out. We all want to make sure that you're doing well. And if you're struggling with anything, we just want to do what we can to push you forward and get you ready for your exam. So don't ever feel like you cannot get in touch. When you join FI, you will get a welcome call from your tutor so you can have a chat. That kind of breaks the ice. So you've already spoken to each other before, and so then when you are studying, if you've got any problems or anything like that, you don't feel so intimidated or shy about getting in touch, because everyone here is really friendly. You will have your dedicated support tutor. Quite often the tutors here have one day off during the week, so if you're stuck and your tutor's not available or not here, you will get their working hours. Other tutors are available as well, so you can speak to other tutors as well. You don't just have to speak to your support tutor. So don't ever feel like, oh, my tutor's off, there's no one to help me. That's not true. There's a whole group of tutors here, and everyone will speak to anybody. We just want to help as much as we can. So don't ever feel like you cannot ring in, because you definitely can. When you're studying with the live classes, it's important to keep in touch with your support tutor. So anything that's going on, get in touch. If you've got something going on in your personal life or your work life and it's causing you to fall behind in your studies, it's important to let your support tutor know. If they know, they can have a chat and they can do something about it. There's always stuff that we can help with. If you don't tell them, you can fall behind. Once you start to fall behind, if you still don't tell your tutor, it can snowball and it can get out of hand very quickly. And we don't want that. The main thing from this course is that you enjoy it and have fun with it. It's just a course. There's no point getting stressed and worked up. So if something's not right or you're not happy with anything, get in touch. It's all about contact with your tutor. The live classes are very structured, so you will always have emails back and forth with your tutor anyway. So you shouldn't go a long period of time without contact. If there hasn't been much contact in a while, send them an email, let them know how you're doing. You don't have to email just because something's going wrong. You can email and say, I've done this, I've done this assignment, I'm doing quite well, I'm doing okay. It's always good to get an email from a student, whether it's whether you need help or it's just an update of how you're doing. All the tutors here have a wealth of knowledge over all three levels. We've done this for a long time now, so any questions, we've probably heard it before, and we can normally help you. Every now and again, though, we will get asked something that we haven't heard before, so we might have to go away and come back to you with an answer, but we will always help, whether it's on the spot or if we have to go away and come back and get you the right information. There's no time limit on the support, so if you join and then say something happens in your personal life and you've got to put a pause on your studies for 18 months, you can do that and then come back. It's not a problem, but you do need to let your tutor know what's going on. You can't just disappear for 18 months. It's important that you keep in touch with your tutor at all times. There's lots of flexibility. The course itself is very structured, so there's a strict timetable and you have to keep up with it. But if something's going on and you need that flexibility, your tutor can help make that happen. So have a word with them, get in touch. I can't stress that enough. Get in touch with your tutor, and there's always lots of help available.
Brilliant, thank you, Phil. Yeah, some really important things covered there. So
yeah,
excellent. And I think where we're sort of going next with this is our job at FI is to help you pass your exams, which of course is really important. But then if we just take a step back from that and think, well, why are we actually studying? What's the point of it? Is it just because we just like studying, chances are for most of you, it's because you want to progress in your career. Maybe you want to go on and study further. Maybe you want a change of career. So it's usually to actually sort of help us in our ability to be able to do a job or to widen our skill set. So I think sitting the live classes is one thing, doing the homework is one thing, passing the exams is one thing, and that's all really, really important. There's actually other things available to you that might also be helpful that we'll just mention here. So we've got the FI podcast, and the FI podcast usually is, it's usually weekly, take a little bit of break over the school holidays and things, but it starts with an update of the latest news from exam bodies. So if AAT have some breaking news, that will be delivered and presented in the podcast as alongside any SEMA news, any ACCA news, which may be of less interest to you. But then the hosts of the podcast will then have guest speakers dealing with a whole range of different topics. And I just sort of think this is a great resource to widen your greater knowledge of business and accounting. Because some people start with AAT, perhaps at level 2, and say, I'm looking for a career change. Never done anything like this before. Then one of the first things I'll suggest is get tuned into the FI podcast, because it's just going to talk to us about, be it, for example, interest rates and the state of the economy. We had an election special. We had something the other week about the Taylor Swift effect. So we cover a whole range of things. We cover financing the area of football, financing the area of fashion. We cover people with neurodiverse needs. We talk about stress. We talk about different learning techniques. So lots of different things and lots of different speakers. And because it's a podcast, you can put it on at the gym, you can put it on while you're commuting, while you're preparing the food in the kitchen, whenever you want. It's just something I think that can really sort of just enhance your overall knowledge of the world of accounting. And if that doesn't appeal to you, it's not compulsory. I just think it's a great resource, so I thought we'd put it out there. The FI Hub, also an incredibly useful resource, and you'll probably find that your support tutor will direct you to specific articles on that hub anyway, as they're relevant to where you are in your studies. But we cover study techniques. Again, we look at neurodiversity in there. We cover some topics around the area of personal development. So it might be things like time management or how to sell yourself at an interview, and then technical articles. So we might cover something on, let's say, the difference between occupational personal pension schemes, which is relevant for the level 4 tax units. So we have technical articles on there as well. So FI Hub, you can find that as a little tab on our general FI website, a great resource also for just widening your knowledge. A little bit then more subject specific, what you will find is after the end of each live course, so say your live course finishes on a Wednesday, the following week, you like to find that we are running some free revision sessions. And in these revision sessions, we run through some question practice with you, which will be probably from FI Mock number 1. So these sessions you can attend live. They are completely free of charge. And when you register for them, you will automatically receive a recording. So it may be that you register knowing full well that you can't attend because you've already got commitments. But you register knowing that you will get a recording sent out to you to watch again later. So I always recommend to sign up for these sessions at some point during your live course, because even if you can't attend live, you'll be able to get the recording. They are completely free, so what have you got to lose? We've also got copies of past recorded sessions available on our YouTube channel, so you can catch up with recordings on there as well. If you don't want to wait right till the end of the course and you'd like to get your hands on these revision sessions a little bit earlier, just to see what you're going to expect from the final exam questions, then YouTube would be a good place to find them. But the email and information provided to you by your support tutor will include directions on how to sign up for those free revisions. If you don't find the information as part of all the bits and pieces they send you in advance of the course, just drop them an email. It will probably be mentioned in class anyway by the live tutors. We like to remind you that these revision sessions are available.
What we expect from you, it's all about your commitment. You need to commit. Don't go about this willy-nilly kind of thing. Just once you start your live course, commit to it and try and do your best. Try and do all the work. Attend all the live classes. One thing I've not mentioned yet is we've just mentioned that the revision sessions are recorded, but the actual live classes themselves, we do not record these. The reason is that you get the benefit of them live. So a recording will just be a 2.5 hour recording, and it'd be quite unwieldy. So we don't record the live classes themselves. And if you do miss a class, let your tutor know. They can let you know what we did in that class, and you can use the pre-recorded videos that are available on the FI Learn Hub to catch yourself up and watch the tutor for those sessions. So we don't actually record the live classes. Do all the work, do the practice examples, do the assignments, do the mocks, do the task bank. Just make sure you're doing everything you possibly can. Don't forget about the AAT website. The resources on there are great. And I cannot recommend enough doing the AAT mocks before your exam, because the AAT mocks are on the same platform as your exam. So on the mocks that you do on FI Learn are great for testing your knowledge, but it's a different platform, so they will look slightly different. But when you do the AAT mocks, because they're on the same platform, it's a good indicator of what to expect in your actual exam. So doing the AAT mocks is very important. So yeah, don't do all the stuff on the AAT FI Learn and do all the material, all the coursework that we provide you, but don't forget about the AAT website. Yeah, that's what you get when you register with AAT. So you paid your money to register, so make the use of it. It's there for you, and it can only help. Keep in touch with your tutor, and if you need help, ask for it. And the main thing is enjoy the course. We want you to have fun and enjoy it. Don't be stressed. It can easily get on top of you, and just I've had many phone calls from students that are stressed out, and they spoke to me and they've gone away and they felt not as stressed because they've got it all out of the system. So you can use your tutor to vent on if you wish. But your tutor's there to help. Get in touch with them. Just keep in touch, keep in contact with your tutor. You will be your support tutor is there for the entire level. So you'll get to know each other. You'll get plenty of emails from each other. So keep in touch and enjoy it.
Final thing in conclusion, is just to say, yeah, there's a lot of information to take in terms of the technical material. There's also a lot of information to take in terms of this induction, which is why we put it together in a little presentation for you. So yeah, thank you for listening. And I hope that Phil and I have been able to start to get you a little bit excited about this journey. It really is an excellent qualification, and you are in such capable hands at First Intuition with a whole team of support tutors, a whole team of delivery tutors who all have your back. As Phil said, we've all been through it. We've all been students. We know how difficult it is trying to balance family life with study life, with work life. And sometimes you just do need to vent a little bit or have a little bit of a cry on the phone, and that's okay. We are there for one another. And it might just be that we're here to celebrate your successes with you, and everything goes amazingly well, and you just can't wait to ring us and tell us how much you're enjoying things and how well the classes are going. So we'll celebrate the successes with you as well. So keep in touch. You'll see your delivery tutor each week in class. You'll be in touch with your support tutor regularly throughout the course, and yeah, enjoy it. So I think that's pretty much all I have, Phil. Anything more from you?
Enjoy the class, everyone. If this is your obviously, if you've done live before, you'll be an old hat at it. But if this is your very first unit with us, this is it is a lot of information to digest, and you can easily feel overwhelmed with it. Try not to be. Once you get into it, you'll notice that there's a bit of a routine, and it's the same per each unit. So once you've got one unit under your belt, it's the same process for each unit. So it's not as daunting as what you might think. And yeah, just get in touch with your tutor and enjoy the course. I hope you have fun with it. It's a lot of us enjoy the numbers. There's some nasty written questions in there which people don't like, but it's all good fun. And if you do the practice and commit to it, as I say, you can do really well with this course. And I hope you have fun.
Brilliant. Thank you. Excellent, Bill. All right, we'll see you in class then.